Hi there, welcome back to your favorite deep dive show in which we focus on stories contemporary and consequential for India. This week we were spoilt for a choice. From the Waqf bill in Parliament to Muhammad Yunus throwing a Northeast challenge to India. From the Trump tariff war that has nuked the markets to the issue of conversions in Punjab coming under focus after conviction of Pastor Bajinder Singh. And some more. With an information overload on the Trump's tariff tantrums, I thought I should give it a pass. For now, would only wager that all roads to hell are paved with good intentions. So I picked three stories, two domestic and one international. First up, India and China completed 75 years of their diplomatic relations this week. Xi Jinping called for an elephant-dragon tango. I take a hard look. Should we lower our guard and dance, or still read the poker face Xi a little more? Second, is Naxalism on its deathbed in India? The Union Home Minister officially reduced the footprint of the left-wing extremism menace to just 6 districts of the country. From a dozen states that the Red Terror used to rule till a decade ago, we take a look. And finally, in the international segment, France's strongest right-wing leader, Marine Le Pen, has been banned from electoral politics following her conviction in a corruption case. But there's a larger pattern. Europe is clinically going after its right wing. What's the freedom and democracy index of the self-righteous Europe? We explore. Let's get going.
方愿同印方一道努力，在两国领导人的战略引领下，坚持从战略高度和长远角度看待和处理中印关系，以两国建交75周年为契机，增进双方战略互信，加强各领域交流合作，深化在重大国际事务当中的沟通与协调，共同维护中印边境地区的和平安宁，推动中印关系沿着健康稳定的轨道向前发展。
President Xi Jinping sent an unusually flowery communication to President Droupadi Murmu seeking an elephant-dragon tango between India and China. The occasion was the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two nations since 1950. India became independent in 1947, China in 1948, which means both sides waited for a couple of years before connecting officially and setting up embassies in each other's capitals. Let's put it like this. The Nehru government was not nimble-footed enough to swing between the Kuomintang government of General Chiang Kai-shek and the Chinese Communist Party led by Mao Zedong. That took a couple of years to be sorted, hence 1950 as the start date. What began as a glitch widened into a gorge with the border talks over Tibet and the escape of the Dalai Lama, ultimately leading to the 1962 war. Since then, but for sporadic military clashes and standoffs, the one of 1967 at Nathula and in 1986-87 at Sumdorongchu Valley, India-China maintained cold peace, leading to many border agreements and understandings. In 1993, 1996, 2005, 2012, and 2013. Look at the start and the end dates of these agreements. They are significant markers of geopolitical and geo-economic trajectories of the two nations. At the turn of the decade of the 1980s, China was still in hibernation. Its WTO entry was still a decade away. Both India and China had similar population and economic size, leading to a strategic equilibrium. This helped both sides sign those agreements. The elephant and the dragon could do a tango on a range of issues from the United Nations to the World Trade Organization, and later from the BRICS to the SCO. Come to 2013, India was unstable, ridden by negative perceptions about the government in Delhi, almost on the verge of getting knocked out of the BRICS. But by 2013, China had made big leaps. It was the year when China crossed the US $10 trillion mark for its economy, and 2013 also saw a generational shift with the advent of Xi Jinping. By 2013, America, under second term of President Obama, was fancying a China pivot with the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Taken together, the geostrategic, geopolitical, and geoeconomic environment provided Xi with that extra swagger and heft. Look at the dates again. 2013 is when Xi gave the first glimpse of his military mind on India with the Depsang adventure. He followed it up with Chumar in 2014. Doklam happened in 2017, and by 2020, the escalation reached Galwan, which put the India-China relations into a deep freeze. The moves on India border have been one of the many strategic shifts made by Xi Jinping on the back of a firing Chinese economy. Military moves on Taiwan, tightening of direct control on Xinjiang, and taking over of the sinews of global supply chains through the Belt and Road Initiative being other examples. The Chinese president had been setting up a chessboard that would have turned China into the Middle Kingdom that Beijing has fancied itself to be since the ancient times. Till COVID, that is. The pandemic put paid to those ambitions. The world pivoted against China, both mentally and materially, leading to shifts that have sputtered the Chinese economic engine. The Trump tariff war has put a spoke on any hopes of an easy rebound. This week only, Xi has made some unprecedented changes in the CCP leadership structure. This week also saw a trial run of an economic blockade of Taiwan by the PLA joint forces. A fortnight back, we had reappearance of Jack Ma of Alibaba, with Xi using that to emphasize that he was toning down his private sector witch hunt. The coming week, Xi is making his first trip abroad this year to his immediate neighborhood in Southeast Asia, visiting Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia. Vietnam is important because the Liberation Day tariffs of Trump have targeted Hanoi even more than China, given the proxy of Chinese manufacturing that it had become. So this is the backdrop in which we have to see this saccharine-loaded outreach of the dragon seeking a tango with the elephant. The sugar and honey tone is to buy peace as Xi engages with more important battles at hand. On our side, India too has traveled a long distance. 1. Post-Galwan and the Ladakh standoff, we have showed the Chinese generals that they can be checkmated. 2. The Trump-Modi equation is more durable than the Biden-Frost and would weigh on Xi's mind. 3. The India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, as also the Supply Chain Resilience Initiative of the Quad, are credible threats to Chinese dominance of global logistics and supply chains. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri was the chief guest at the Chinese embassy event to mark the occasion. While he cut a cake along with Chinese Ambassador Xu Fihong, his address was loaded with caution. Listen in.
Areas is critical for the smooth development of our overall bilateral relations. And it is on the basis of this fundamental understanding, which was shared in the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping in Kazan, that both of us are now working together to chart a roadmap for our bilateral relations to return to a stable, predictable, and amicable path.
Misri concluded by saying that the path forward may be a difficult one, but one that we are prepared for. There's a reason for caution. 1. The lessons of the recent past. 2. The reopening of the trade does not necessarily mean the lopsided trade balance is getting addressed anytime soon. 3. While the troops have pulled back from eyeball-to-eyeball positions in Ladakh, they are not back to their barracks yet. No time yet for a tango.